Hi, I'm Nick Faviano, and I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about the joys of an Italian Christmas Eve. So, if you've never experienced an Italian Christmas Eve, I would say listen closely so that I can explain to you why this is my favorite holiday. And if you have experienced an Italian Christmas Eve, then I would say that you'll appreciate my enthusiasm for the topic even more. So, a little bit of background about myself before we get started. I graduated from Rider in 2015 with a degree in business focused on marketing. Shortly after graduating from Rider, I did the Disney College Program in 2016. So, that was a marketing internship as well as working at Walt Disney World at the theme parks, learning about hospitality and guest relations. Shortly after that, I ended up moving back to New Jersey, and I got a job where I currently am now at a company called Lithium Motors. And Lithium Motors is an automotive retailer, and my main responsibilities right now include developing a marketing plan and reporting on strategies for my dealerships up and down the East Coast of the United States. A little bit more about me on a personal note. So both of my grandparents were first generation immigrants from Italy, and they've definitely, I would say, influenced the way that myself as well as my family celebrate the holiday season, especially Christmas. So a little bit about Christmas from a religious standpoint. Obviously, Christmas Eve is celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. And then a little bit about Christmas Eve from a family perspective. One of the biggest components about Christmas Eve that I like is being able to celebrate Christmas with my family. Every Christmas Eve, my family usually gathers at my cousin's house out in Long Island, New York. And usually everyone is there, including cousins, grandparents, aunts, uncles, family, friends. Usually we end up playing board games, sharing stories, reminiscing about our childhoods and about Christmases past. So one of the other big things that I really do appreciate about Christmas Eve is the sense of tradition that we have in my family. So every year, and this job used to be held by my grandfather, but every year we practice the tradition of having Santa Claus come in through the back door and deliver everyone at the Christmas Eve party presents. So as I mentioned, my grandfather recently retired from that position, and he ended up giving the position over to my cousin Stevie. So Stevie's a riot, and every year he comes in dressed in a full Santa costume, sits down on a chair with a big bag of presents, and he'll proceed to tell jokes and stories about each person that he calls up in the family before they receive their gift. So they can't receive their gift until he tells some sort of a joke about them in some way. One of the other reasons that I particularly love the Christmas Eve traditions in my family would be celebrating our food traditions. So besides all the storytelling and game playing, and we do an ornament swap every year, besides all of that, our traditions largely center around food. So every year, it's usually a 6 to 7 hour feast that we partake in my family. And we traditionally do the Feast of the Seven Fishes, which is derived from a Roman Catholic tradition of abstaining from meat the night before a feast holiday, in this case Christmas. So some of the food that we eat includes basically a buffet of family dishes that we make every year. Shrimp scampi, linguine with clam sauce, eggplant parmesan, fried calamari, and some of the desserts, which I also really like, as from a traditional standpoint, would be my Christmas butter cookies that I personally help make with my mom and dad. And this recipe is derived from my great-grandmother's butter cookie recipe. So every year we make that and we bring it to the Christmas Eve party, and we have that as well as other Italian pastries, cannolis, etc. Now that you've learned a bit about my family's Italian-American Christmas traditions, I hope that you can appreciate this as my favorite holiday. And I hope that if you don't currently have any traditions that you're celebrating with your family, I hope that this may inspire you to start some. Thanks.